I'm Derek Dorresteyn, CTO and co-founder of Alta Motors.
All right, so big news today out of Straight Rhythm. This is the quote-unquote competition debut for the Redshift. How did you guys decide that this is when you wanted to do it?
It was just a lucky break. We had been talking about how we wanted to assault top flight motocross, and we're basically written out of the rule books as it stands right now. One of our advisors, Eric Perrignard, thought that it may be possible for us to do this event. We talked to Red Bull, and they were excited about it, and the rest is now history.
Okay, so then the big news is that you have Josh Hill. Josh is probably one of the most talented motocross racers ever. I've watched Josh ride a million times, and what he does on a bike is pretty unbelievable. For him to have a vote of confidence in this thing and do what he does on it is huge. How did you guys meet him?
It's a really funny story. Apparently Josh had sent us emails that we didn't respond to and phone calls that we didn't answer, and hit up his buddy Chris Kiefer, who he knew was associated with us doing testing. And eventually he got our attention by doctoring a photo of our bike with his number on it on his Instagram account, and I reached out to him, and he was just genuinely excited about the bike and wanted to know if it was at all possible for him to try it.
So then Kiefer's role is huge. I mean, Chris he works for a competitor magazine of ours, but he's one of the best test riders there is in the sport. How did you guys find out about him?
I've read some of the things he's done over the years, and as I was doing research, he's one of the only guys who has a real testing service, right? It's Kiefer Inc. is, he's got insurance. He's a real pro tester, and so approached him early days, more than 2 years ago now, to help us do development writing, and he's had a huge impact on the program.
Hey, so we all know that it's trial and error on any project you do. How much has this changed from its very first blueprints or demos till now?
Well, I like to think of it as refinement and optimization, not so much trial and error. It's changed a lot. We did an initial prototype way back in 2011 that really looks nothing like this bike. After building that, we saw the potential and promise of that, and then broke it down and did a whole clean sheet new design, and that saw life about 2 years ago. And there's been thousands of additional engineering hours into the program since then to refine it and get it working better.
So then how did you find the partners that you guys wanted to work on with WP and a proprietary system for your engine, and then the battery cells that you use and everything like that?
Yeah, we certainly have some industry partners. WP suspension is a big one. HRV's for our plastics is another big one. We just looked around and decided who we thought could be our partner, and started those conversations. And those conversations were better with some companies than they were with others, and we ended up going with WP. We've been very happy with their products. The rest of the bike is really a clean sheet design. So we are buying battery cells from one of the big battery companies. I'm not going to say who, but the rest of it is all of our own engineering and design, and that's where the real innovation has come from. Our approach of doing the clean sheet design of motor, inverter, and especially battery pack is really what has made it possible to build a bike that can compete with a 250F motocross bike.
Right now, like you said, this is not AMA legal, but I know that you guys are going through the steps, and there are all sides coming together on this. How is that conversation going? Like, are we going to see this 2018, 2019 on the line in Anaheim 1?
Well, I would love to see it as soon as possible. I think the conversations with the big promoters and with the AMA have been very positive, and the consensus is this is coming, and we should try to include electric propulsion into the rules. I participated in some of the rulemaking, or at least observing as a manufacturer's rep at AMA for amateur racing just recently, and surprisingly everybody's kind of excited about it, and they're working on it.
for the most, like anytime we post this online, I think this is like one of the coolest things that it's come out in a while. We get a really mixed reaction. Either people think it's great, it's the future of the sport, it's going to open up all these riding areas, and you have people that think like, no, dude, I just want gas and I want oil and I want noise. How hard is it for you guys to be like, no, dude, this is a legit thing. This isn't a novelty. This is a competitive machine.
I see the same challenges pop up on the forums, especially guys like Josh Hill. Make this conversation easier. They show that the bike's legitimate, and that it's really about performance and not about other things. And I think over time, especially as more people get a chance to ride the bike, I think people will get it.
Right now, you guys are all 100% made in California for the most part, all design assembly. What's the cost? And if someone wanted to go buy one Monday, when could they have it?
Yeah, we're assembling bikes in California. We got about half of our parts coming from America, and then the rest of it's a pretty international set of suppliers. But it's truly an American product, all engineered in California. We've got some amazing talent in doing this work, and right now, you can go down to the dealer in San Francisco, Alta of San Francisco, and go on a test ride and put a deposit down for a bike. There's a waiting list, and so the deposit is the path to getting a bike faster than someone else.
Cool. So we got to get into numbers now. What is price, and then an average guy, not a Josh Hill, but how long can they get out of a battery pack if they went and did a couple motos at the local track?
Yep, the bike's $15,000 or $14,995. Some people are surprised or raise an eyebrow at that number. It's really related to the technology that's in the vehicle that's driving the price. For that price, you get value, and the value is a drivetrain that is very low maintenance, some performance and ride attributes that have really never been on a motorcycle before. The responsiveness of the throttle, the traction, the feel of this bike is really something to behold. The bike was engineered to do a 30-minute moto plus 2 laps and make it back to the truck, right? So that was, if that was possible, we thought this program was worth pursuing, and the bike can do that, and which means that, and that's with a pro rider on it. So this is so that everyone else who doesn't quite take power out of it at the same rate as a pro rider gets more range than that. So when we go to a vet track or a track with amateur riders, we're seeing 50 minutes, sometimes an hour on the motocross track, hard riding. Trail riding is sort of a whole other world. The record so far is 5 hours of trail riding. We go out regularly and do 2.5, 3 hours of trail riding on single tracks.
With the Tesla right now, it sounds like they do an update every now and then, and it's a software update. You guys have the same thing, or is it still so new that we're working on that?
So that's an interesting point you bring up. This is really a new aspect of all of this. This is now a digital motorcycle that is driven by software, and in addition to having some changeable on the fly throttle maps that change our open loop traction control, engine braking, and some other sort of features of how the bike responds. We have a team that is continuously working to improve the firmware on the bike and add new features, and it's really just a drop off at the dealer for a flash of the software, and you got a new motorcycle.
All right, so then it is all proprietary. Say that if someone needed gearing or brake pads or something like that, what brands could they use?
So the brakes are Brembo brakes. They're very similar to some other European models that feature those brakes. The wheels are our proprietary wheels. There may be some crossover on the sprockets. Tires are all standard sizes: 21 front, 19 rear.